Hello. So, it's Friday. It's a lazy day. I have my project I'm working on. It's going to be a blanket, you know. So, because it's a lazy day, sorry, I thought someone was at the door. I wanted to take a minute to kind of explain right off the bat, since this is only my second video, the mock paleo diet that I'm on. And disclaimer, after being on it for 3 weeks, if you require more calories than the average person, do not do this diet. If you are bigger than me, when I started this diet and my doctor suggested it to me, I was 270. If you're bigger than that and you eat more than 2,500 calories in a day, do not do it. The shift that happened overnight, going from what I was normally doing to right away intermediate fasting and less than 1,500 calories a day, was a shock. The very first day, I was cranky. I had a headache as soon as I got up. I could not focus. And for my husband, he requires more than 2,000 calories because he's active military. He's constantly moving around. Albeit he is the minimum requirement for them, but the 1,500 and less calories a day is not enough for him. So he was cranky because he wasn't getting the energy that he needed. And while I was adjusting, neither was I. He's still not. He's munching and eating outside of the house to get up what he's not getting here. So that's my disclaimer. I was eating, before we started the because this was a shift that happened overnight, I was eating anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 2,000 to 2,500. 2,500. Who eats 5,000 calories a day? Does somebody actually do that? And dropping down to 15 was a shock. And along with the diet, I am also on intermediate fasting. I cannot eat before noon, and I cannot eat after 8 p.m. I can have coffee in the morning, but the amount of creamer I have in my coffee takes away from how many calories I can have throughout the rest of the day, because I love my creamer. That is not changing. I will never give up coffee creamer. I can't drink black coffee, and I can't go without coffee. I am addicted to coffee, and I am proud to be addicted to coffee. So, the diet is the Paleolithic, or paleo diet for short. Normally on this diet, you stick to lean meats, fish, fruit, vegetables, nuts, that kind of thing. No processed foods, no complex carbohydrates, no dairy, things like that. Well, me and my doctor sat down and talked about it and did research there in the room. She was so patient with me. And we found out that complex carbs like whole wheat bread, rice, that kind of thing, have been eaten for the past 14,000 years. Our ancestors have been eating them for a long time, way longer than what originally was thought on the paleo. Cut out. I am getting cotton mouth. Hold on a second. This stuff is amazing. Have you ever had seltzer water? caffeine free, sugar free. There's only 1% sodium. This stuff is awesome. I don't know if you can see it. Bunch of zeros. Anyway, we determined that cut out as much as possible, but we don't have to completely get rid of it. Like Fridays. We are on a very strict budget. And if I'm not careful planning the dinners, because now I'm planning 4 meals in the span of 8 hours. Lunch, which is usually the leftover from the night before, depending on how big the meal was. A snack, dinner that day, and then a dessert. If I'm not careful planning those, we can easily go over $150. And it's just not in our budget to spend over $150 every week on food. The max amount that we can spend is like $110, maybe $120. So we don't have a lot of money for food. And she said because of that, you know, if we need to cut one day out of cooking to stay in our food budget, that's fine. So Fridays we do a takeout, and we'll go to like Subway or something like that where I can clearly see and add up as I'm there picking my meal the calories. And she said when we do go out for Fridays, I have to stay under 900 calories, which is not easy. It's very limiting on the menu, but it is possible, no matter where we've gone so far. So we do that on Fridays. Cut out every type of complex carb except for whole wheat bread and Botan sticky rice, which is a short, I think it's, yeah, it is a short grain rice that you can use to make sushi. We've cut out everything except that. Dairy-wise, we haven't cut out our milk. Butter we still use, but we use low-fat, unsalted butter. And, what was the other thing? Oh, cheese. I am a cheese fanatic. You can give me a $15 block that is that big of high-end cheese, and I can eat that by itself with no problem. I love goat cheese, Manchester, Murray's, Murray's cheddar, and I love exotic cheeses. She said we don't have to cut them out, but we have to, again, limit them, which is fine. So, yeah, I really don't have much more information to give on the little diet that we're doing. So far, the 3 weeks that we've been on it, because I go next week to get checked to see how we're doing, see how much weight I'm losing. I feel great. I know my husband said he doesn't feel like it's enough food for him, which I'm going to have to be more careful in planning my dinners. So this way he's getting enough food, but I'm staying out where I need to. But I feel awesome. I have definitely noticed a loss of weight. Not drastically, mind you, because I am still stuck sitting at the computer for 5-6 hours a day working. Like this morning, I got up, I showered, I had my coffee, put dishes away, did all of that jazz, and I ended up sitting here for 2.5-3 hours talking to a customer, getting them set up so I can start their commission on Monday. If I can somehow work my schedule to keep doing my work and dealing with my customers and having more free time, then yeah, I will lose a lot more weight. I haven't quite figured out how to balance that time yet. And eventually I will. You know, it's almost been a month. That's not a large amount of time. So eventually I will figure that out. But I have noticed a small loss of weight. The weekends, we don't really stick to our sleeping schedule. But when I do, I'm sleeping great. I have restless leg syndrome, and it really hasn't bothered me much, which is a first. I have struggled with restless leg syndrome since I was a freshman in high school. Back in, freshman in 2012 was senior year. 12, 11, 10, 9. So yeah, back in like 2007, 2008, I've had restless leg syndrome. God, I am old. My energy has gone up. Definitely my energy has gone up. I've always been a happy, peppy person because I have ADHD, but never to this degree. I've definitely seen an improvement in my amount of energy and my mood from eating the natural, unprocessed foods. I think it was either the first week we did this, he took me out to eat for dinner right away, and I was a little pissed off about that, and I had I think it was either a Diet Coke, no, Coke Zero or a Sprite, one of the two, with dinner, and I just felt so disgusting afterwards. Even now, I can only have 1 cup of my creamer, in my, like, this is my coffee cup. I can only have 1 of these with creamer. After that, I just switched to water, because anything more than that, I'm just, so, it's working for us. Depending on how the doctor's appointment goes, me and him are going to decide whether we're going to stay on it or whether we're just going to go back to what we were normally doing, which honestly, I don't want to. All of the cooking keeps me busy because I am making everything from scratch. If I'm not working or doing house chores, I am prepping food. The Saturday after my doctor's appointment, which was, let me see, the 21st, I think. It was either the 21st or the 28th, one of those. I just want to interject here for a second. I realize watching this back, editing it, how wide this hoodie makes me look. I am not actually that wide. It looks like my shoulders are all the way out there, but they're not. Here's my shoulder, okay? And here's my other shoulder. They're not all the way out like this. It's just a very big hoodie. This was my Aunt Dee Dee's hoodie. So, it's a very big hoodie. Back to the video. I spent 3 hours making like 10 cups of pasta sauce, and I still have 4 cups. Which we're going to be using some of them for dinner this week. So, the cooking is like non-stop. I am so tired of washing dishes. My nail polish is not holding up anymore. I painted my nails 2 days ago, and I already have to take all of the nail polish off. I've kind of given up at this point with my nail polish. I can't have it on anymore. So, that's been the biggest upside, is with how much cooking I am constantly up and moving around. The hardest thing is not being able to taste the food when you cook it. Like if it's a weekend or something and I have to make the lunch like I do for tomorrow. Tonight's the takeout, so tomorrow I have to make lunch, which is a chicken salad BLT on a lettuce leaf. I have to make that before noon. I can't eat until noon. So I get to sit there and just smell the food and look at it and go, damn. That's been the hardest thing, is not tasting anything. So when he's home, I'm like, hey, come here, make sure this tastes okay. This is going on longer than I thought it would. I'm sorry my videos are so long. Even though this is the second one, I already hate the intro and the outro. I'm gonna try and save up and get an actual camera because my phone is just mounted to the back of my screen right now. So I can actually do videos properly because I already hate the intro and outro. No one wants to constantly see photos of me, my Dorcas husband, and our cats. No one wants to see that. That is dorky and dumb. So, yeah. I'm going to end this. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I will see y'all next time.